I'm Diana.
I'm Kristen.
I'm Dana.
I'm Kelly.
And we did specifically designed academic instruction in English, or SDAIE. This is our KWL chart, and what we already knew is that teachers need to use supports and strategies to help ELLs succeed academically, and this can include different gestures, facial expressions, and body language, and speaking at a slower rate, and simplifying language and providing visual supports. What we wanted to know is what specifically designed academic instruction in English entailed and how it could be used with English learners. What we learned is that SDAIE includes metacognitive development, bridging, schema building, contextualization, text representation, and modeling. Bridging creates a link between prior knowledge and material being learned. Bridging will be the main focus of our presentation today. A summary of SDAIE. Specifically designed academic instruction involves the teaching of academic content while teaching ELLs. This method of instruction provides different strategies for teaching academics to ELLs. It was originally created to put an emphasis on the need for specialized instruction and to help create an English-only instructional method to help ELLs transition between bilingual and English-only instruction. The growing number of ELLs in mainstream classrooms has created the need for different types of effective academic instruction. Figure 1 represents the SDAIE model that identifies 8 different interactive and overlapping components. The components are not meant to stand alone and should be a part of a dynamic system. The 8 components include connecting to previous learning, to further develop pre-existing schemas, visuals and manipulatives, to help make a lesson come alive, low-risk, safe environment that views diversity as an asset, multiple access points, which enables students at various levels to understand key concepts, cooperative and interactive conversations, chunking and webbing to find connections or patterns that unify concepts, respect of a learner, and primary language support, which success or failure may be determined by teachers facilitating the language learning.
So next I'm going to be talking about some of the key characteristics related to the SDAIE strategies. There are 6 strategies in total for SDAIE, and the first is metacognitive development. This provides students with skills and vocabulary to talk about their learning, and some examples of this would be vocabulary assessments and note-taking. The next one is bridging, which we will talk about further later. And this establishes a link between the knowledge that the students had before and the new material they are currently learning. So some examples of this would be an anticipatory chart, such as a KWL, a think, pair, share, or a quick write activity. The third characteristic is schema building, and that helps students see the relationships between various concepts, such as using a compare and contrast activity or a jigsaw learning activity. The fourth one is contextualization, and this helps familiarize students with unknown concepts, such as using a demonstration or media. And the fifth one is text representation, which invites students to extend their understanding of a text and apply it in a new way. So students can create drawings or videos or games. And then finally, there's modeling, in which the teacher or clinician speaks slowly and clearly and models the language that you would want the student to use, and also provides examples of the student work. So those are all 6 characteristics. And then for bridging specifically, when discussing English language learners, the point of this is that the teacher bridges the knowledge of the 2 languages together. So the goal is to help students contrast the 2 languages and transfer the academic content they have learned in the first language into the other languages. And this also involves the use of cross-linguistic strategies of both languages and leads to the development of meta-linguistic awareness, meaning it helps them truly think about the 2 languages.
So here are 3 examples of bridging activities. The first one is an anticipatory chart, which an example would be the KWL chart that we did in the beginning of this presentation. This allows students to reflect on what they know, what they want to know, and then fill in what they learned about a specific topic. And they can also share this with peers and collaborate with them. The second activity is a think, pair, share. Students work together to answer a question. Students think about what they know, pair it with peers, and then share their ideas with others. And this is solely an oral task. A third example of a bridging activity would be a quick write. A quick write is a pre-writing activity that involves students responding to a prompt without any self-editing. They are allowed to repeat phrases over and over until something new comes to mind. So we identified many strengths to bridging in SDAIE. Some of them involve the ability for students to improve their oral communication skills by collaborating with a partner. This collaboration also allows socialization and support from peers. This approach also is sensitive to students' needs, whether that be emotional, social, or academic, while still allowing them to have access to core curriculum. And this specifically also reduces stress by allowing students to work with a partner before having to present to the class. Some of the weaknesses that we found include the fact that students in pre-production, early production, or the speech emergence stages of English may find this difficult. Students with limited literacy proficiency in their primary language may also struggle with this. This is mostly appropriate for students who have cognitive academic language proficiency, or CALP, in their primary language, and this has to be paired with intermediate level of their second language proficiency as well for this to be most effective.
We found 2 articles to support the use of SDAIE and bridging. The first EBP article we found was SDAIE, More Than Just Good Instruction. This article discusses the effectiveness of SDAIE learning with ELLs in mainstream classrooms. It identifies 8 components that Kristen identified earlier, such as connecting to previous learning and the use of visuals and manipulatives with ELLs that can promote a better language learning environment. If implemented properly, this approach can improve both social and academic skills. The second article we found, Teaching Adolescent EFLs by Integrating Think, Pair, Share, and Reading Strategy Instruction. A bridging strategy, Think, Pair, Share, was integrated with reading strategy instruction in an EFL class. Participants were in 10th grade, and they were students in an English as a foreign language class in Taiwan. The intervention class, the class receiving both the Think, Pair, Share during reading instruction, was compared to a traditionally taught class to determine any differences in motivation towards learning English and reading strategy use. Results showed a statistically significant increase in motivation for the intervention group. These results suggest that a Think, Pair, Share reading instruction was more effective in increasing motivation to learn English as a foreign language than the traditional approach. And these are our references.